My name is Andy Koren. I'm one of the rabbis at Temple Emmanuel here in Greensboro, one of the rabbis serving this community as a whole. I know we were told earlier tonight to turn off our phones, but maybe if you brought some of that old technology like a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, you may want to take some notes. There are two often quoted verses from the Hebrew Bible which emphasize love. One comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6. If you know it, you can say it with me. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. The second comes from Leviticus chapter 19. Again, you're welcome to say it with me. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you love God and love your neighbor, just say amen. Even if we're from different religions, we have these commitments in common. And yet there's one imperative in the Bible, one manifestation of love that rarely is cited. It also comes from Leviticus 19. In verses 33 and 34, just a few verses after the love your neighbor as yourself part, we find this directive. When strangers reside with you in your land, you shall not wrong them. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as your citizens. You shall love each one as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am your God. Now, this is a strong statement in the English translation, but in Hebrew, it's even more powerful. Because that word translated as stranger, that word there is actually the Hebrew word for immigrant. So let me read this again. When immigrants reside with you in your land, you shall not wrong them. The immigrants who reside with you shall be to you as your citizens. You shall love each one as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am your God. And I wish that we could quote that verse about this third type of love as fluently as we do the other two. If we could, it might make vigils like this absolutely unnecessary. Because we know that as challenging as it is to love God always, in the end, it's not a tough sell. Just look at how many churches we have here in Greensboro. One on every corner. And loving our neighbors, we might laugh at this, but there's a reason why we call this the golden rule, and nearly every tradition and every language has some formulation of this. When push comes to shove, as neighbors, we'll show up for each other. Because we feel it in our guts that being a neighbor is not just a geographical designation, it's a moral imperative. I don't think the Bible speaks to us about the easy stuff, handing us lessons that are patently obvious to any and everyone. You don't need a Bible for loving God or loving your neighbor. Excuse me for saying that. But you do need the Bible for loving the stranger, and in particular for loving immigrants. We need it for times like this. You need that statement from Leviticus 19, verses 33 and 34. Because immigrants are different, aren't they? We hear this all the time from others. People will say, well, they aren't from here. They speak a different language. Or they speak the language you know best, but they do so with an accent. They make mistakes. They don't get some of the cultural references. They dress differently, play different sports, eat different foods, and the list could go on and on. You've heard it. For all of these reasons and so many more, immigrants are easy scapegoats. Things get tough and it's the stranger, the immigrant, the refugee who is suspected and called out. We hear this only 8 verses into the book of Exodus, when a new king arises over Egypt who didn't know Joseph. My people, the Jewish people, have lived through echoes of this too many painful times in our history. That is why the book that we hold as sacred, and which so many others turn to for inspiration, says that you should treat the stranger, the foreigner, the outsider, the immigrant with love. It says this not just once. That would make it important. It says this not just twice or 3 times. That biblically would make it a major theme of the Bible. No, it says it 36 times. You taking notes tonight? 36 times. Perhaps you agree with me that if something is said 36 times in the Bible, it's not just important or a theme. 36 times makes something a bedrock principle of what it means to be religious. We need to be there for immigrants as Leviticus 19, 33, and 34 people. Let me say that again. We need to be there for immigrants because we all are Leviticus 19, 33 to 34 people. Let's say what has been said for long enough now, but clearly bears repeating. America's greatness has come from our diversity. Our strength has come from those of us who were born here and those of us who came here for whatever reason from other parts of the world. The Bible contains countless stories of immigration, starting with Abraham and Sarah. And yet, the 4 most famous words from the Bible may be, "Let my people go." This call for freedom has echoed from Moses' time to our own. Today, as we focus on loving immigrants, let us, as Leviticus 19, 33 to 34 people, issue a new call. It's not "let my people go," but "let my people stay." Say that with me. Let my people stay. If you're one of these people loving immigrants, please stand up now. I thought so. And to the leaders of our country, Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals, let's say it again. Let my people stay. Let my people stay because it's the right thing to do. Say it again.
Let my people stay.
Because it's the loving thing to do. Say it again.
Let my people stay.
Because of the peril they will face if they return to danger zones. Say it again.
Let my people stay.
Because of the relationships that we've made as neighbors. Say it again.
Let my people stay.
Because of the connections that our children have made in school together. Again.
Let my people stay.
Because it's the downright loving thing to do.
Let my people stay.
Because it's the absolute moral thing to do.
Let my people stay.
Because it's the religious thing to do.
Let my people stay.
Say it again. Let my people stay. And one more time, let my people stay. Thank you very much.